Hey guys, as always, welcome. JB here, excited you're with me as we are rocking and rolling here on the channel. I appreciate all the support. This is a place for pretty much daily videos about tech, about energy, and about fun. This is a community, not a channel, and I love those comments. We've been having so many. It is awesome. And remember, Thursdays at 4 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, we go live, and I can answer your questions in that chat area for an hour there. So I can't wait to do that. Today we are talking about a real interesting device. It's a laptop called the Google Pixel Book Go. I've been using this now for about, I would say, a year, and I'm actually really surprised by the product. I've always been an Apple guy mostly. Obviously, you've seen all my other devices. And I use those for different things, but I'm a writer. And when it comes to writing, I'm working on my 5th book right now. I try to write 1,000 words 4 or 5 times a week. So I really need to be comfortable and I really want to be in the zone. And this is like the ultimate writing computer. So basically, first thing I'm going to tell you about it is I absolutely love the keyboard. The keyboard on it is my favorite. The Apple Magic Keyboard, which I would compare this device to, is kind of close, but this is still better, okay? So for me, if I was to challenge this device, and we may do it one day, it would be an iPad versus this. Now, I know an iPad is a tablet and it's a little bit different, but I use them very similar. This, I'll browse on the internet every once in a while. I'll do some different things, but practically the most important thing that I do, and let's see if you can see the monitor here. It's gonna be a little hard in this camera, isn't it? Is I use it for writing. And that's really what my primary use case is writing. So what are some of the other uses that I would use it for? Well, first of all, I would tell you this, that if you don't do video editing, don't do audio editing as far as podcasting, then I think this device could be almost perfect. Basically, you've got to be able to accept things being in the cloud. You got to be able to work within the cloud. For me, primarily, what I use is Google Keep. Google Keep is one of my main things that I use. The way that I use Google Keep is it is what I consider a file cabinet. So Google Keep, I keep a lot of different notes in there, but then I link out to Google Sheets and Google Documents, and that's what keeps me organized. So when I'm writing in Google Documents, I have each of the chapters outlined in Google Keep, which allows me to stay organized. So why I bought this device originally was because I was using the Google Suite so much that I figured I would have one computer for organization and for writing. But what I found is that if I only needed one computer for email, one computer for internet browsing, one computer to use day in and day out, this device would be great. It's small enough, it's portable enough, it's light enough. You can just pick it up and carry it. It has this washboard area on the back, and I think Google has done a great job with this hardware. If you're looking for speed of a hard disk, if you're looking for video editing, then go somewhere else. But if you're looking for a quick computer that you can take to class, like team this up with the Remarkable or the Paper or the Quaderno as your computer that you use for writing and stuff, this would be great. And then you use your note taking with the other tablets. I think you got a winner here. For me, again, it's just nice to have a distraction-free writing environment where I sit down, I have this little button that I push in my Google Documents. It's hard to show you, but let's see if we can get there. Get into the current book that I'm writing. It's a little button that's called Enter Distraction-Free Mode. That makes sense. I'll flip it up here and we can see if we can see it. But then when I click that, it literally takes it in distraction-free. I'm going to shut off this light up here because it's in the way and it's kind of on the thing. So let's just shut this off. Okay, that's off. But you can kind of see it just takes everything away, and that's what's called distraction-free mode. And so I use that a lot, and that really works for me as far as just keeping myself really organized and in my writing mode, which is important to me. Some of the functionality, it's got a launch that I like. It's got a touch screen that I don't use. That's why I put it up with the iPad, because it does have a touch screen, but I hardly ever use it. The trackpad is actually pretty good. I like the trackpad. It works. It's responsive. It's quick. Obviously, you have to have internet when you flip it open. You don't have to have internet. Like, you can work on it without internet, but it does work so much better with internet. But who doesn't have internet at this time? I mean, we mostly do. But if you're off, like in an RV or something, and you're writing and then you connect to the internet, it will work with the cloud. I guess part of this review and talking about it would be that it goes along with the Google Suite. So if you're somebody that's ingrained in the Google Suite, I think it's going to work great. I'm sure there are apps for the Google, for like Word and those areas, but I've really evolved away from that, and I've just got into the cloud so much with all my documents and things that I really utilize the Google Suite tremendously. So I guess part of this review would be that, you know, Google Suite brought me to the Google Pixelbook Go, and that's why I fell in love with this device. So if I was comparing it against the iPad Pro and the keyboard, which I do utilize a lot, more for media consumption than this, I would say the one thing that the iPad has on this is obviously applications. And again, this is for my use, so maybe you have different use cases and totally cool. We can talk about that in the comments. I think the screen on the iPad is just phenomenal, right? It's why I don't like to put a screen protector on that iPad, because it is just phenomenal. But this device, I guess the screen is not the greatest. I have the lowest end Pixelbook. I don't think you need to go any higher, again, unless you're looking for some speed ramp for doing audio production or trying to do video production on this, but that would just absolutely drive me crazy. I think that it's a perfect device for 90% of the stuff that you're doing. You got to grab it and go, and you got to, you know, type some notes up. You got to work on a document. You've got to get in Google Keep. You got to work on a spreadsheet. You know, you flip this thing open. I mean, it's almost instantaneously the thing opens up, and then you can go in your Google Sheets, your Google Documents. Again, like I said, I use Google Sheets and those pretty much extensively. And basically, what I do is when I'm using it, I'll basically, you know, just go to my Google Keep, and I'll use you know, one of the little notes, and I'll say, okay, I'm tracking this metric, and I'll click on that and go into my Google Sheets, and it works real well. So I think it's a great device. I think, again, comparing it to the iPad Pro, price difference is out of this world. I mean, this device is a lot less expensive. I know it's not expensive for a Chromebook at $500, $600, but that's a lot cheaper than a $1,000, $1,200 iPad and then another $300, $400 keyboard. You get 3 of these things, right? So for me, I think it's a great Pixelbook. It's a great Chromebook. I've suggested Chromebooks to people that are students and don't need a lot of heavy data usage and are looking for something they can, you know, utilize in school, they can utilize at their house. You know, it's a great device just to have around. And again, I haven't found a better keyboard. The new Apple that I have the brand new 16-inch Apple. It's good. I still prefer this keyboard. And again, I prefer this form factor. So I personally think this is one of the best writing computers for writers. I think it's great for students. I think it's the form factor is good for business. It feels good. It types good. And again, it's it's one of those things that could be a supplementary device, or it could be your main device. So you could have this as your main device if you're not doing a lot of video editing. I would tell you, if you are, make sure you have that Apple, okay? So anyways, I wanted to bring the Google Pixelbook Go review to you. As you know, these are about the ways that I use these devices. I don't use Microsoft Word on it. I don't bring a lot of programs on it. I don't game on it. I mean, I'm basically using it for production work, typing, spreadsheets, a little bit of the internet browsing. You can get away with that. Google searches, those things all work great. The battery, just in case you're wondering, lasts forever. I have a really good time with the battery. I got 10 hours on it right now is what it's saying. So it's probably 8 hours of battery. I do some social media on it. That's really what I use it for. And if I had to compare it with another device, I guess it could be with a laptop, but really it's like an iPad. This is something you just grab and go. That's why they call it the Google Pixelbook Go. I really like the device. All right, so another review for you, just real quick. If you got any questions on it, leave them below for me. Like I said, I know somebody asked about Microsoft Word, but I don't use it on here. I never have. I could try to put it on here and see how it works, but I use the Word document, and it works great. Gmail works great. You know, the whole Google suite, if you're into that, this is a perfect computer for you. It just works fantastic. Okay, so ask the questions below. Let me know what you're thinking. Love to hear from you, and I will keep bringing you reviews and energy here to this channel, as always. Thanks so much. Hey, go have a great day. We'll see you tomorrow.